Hello fellow spell slingers and Highlander enthusiasts, Havoc here, and since this is my first video, let me introduce myself. I first started playing Magic back in the day around Mirage and Ice Age time, but I stopped once I got to high school because things just got too busy. About 5 years ago I picked it back up on a whim and have been seriously collecting and playing ever since. I dabbled in Standard for a while, but the rotation was just too expensive for me, so I transitioned to Commander, and that is now my favorite format by far. However, with the announcement of Brawl, I am very excited. Quasi-Commander rules using standard legal cards sounds like a great puzzle to solve. So, why am I excited about Brawl? I'm excited because normally when a new set comes out, all I have to look forward to is pre-release and then maybe 2 or 3 cards that I might be able to fit into one of my EDH decks. Because through the history of Magic, there are just way better cards that I already own that most of the new ones can't even compare to. But with Brawl, all of that goes away. Now we have to figure out how to have ramp without Kodama's Reach, or how to have solid card draw without Rhystic Study. I love the idea, and at the announcement, I immediately started brewing decks. So on this channel, I'll be covering all things Highlander, so EDH and Brawl. And with my first video, I wanted to share with you the first commander I thought of for Brawl, and that is Samut, Voice of Dissent. Now there are many things that make Samut an attractive commander for me. I mean, she has flash and all those keywords, and plus she gives your entire team haste. But the one often overlooked ability is her last one. 1 white, tap to untap another target creature. Now, how can that come in handy? Well, do we have creatures in Standard right now that this matters for? You bet. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Samut is an awesome commander, and she is a threat by herself, but the utility that she gives is just insane. So let's get into the deck tech. Let's start by looking at our ramp options for the deck. We have first Channeler Initiate. Solid ramp at the 2 mana slot and a decent body later in game is a definite include. Drover of the Mighty, even though we're only rocking 1 dinosaur in the deck, the tap for any color is what we're really after, and it's solid at 2 mana again. Now, Path of Discovery, I know what you're going to say, is this really ramp? Can we really rely on this? Listen, our options are limited here, and this actually serves for both ramp and card draw. Can we say value? Rishgar, of course, just so good in the 3-drop slot, can immediately make 2 or maybe even sometimes 3 or 4 mana just by dropping him on the field. And finally we have Servant of the Conduit, just standard mana ramp all-star here, and again sitting at the 2-drop slot. Very, very good. In any multiplayer game, ramp is going to be so vitally important. And we are in green, so we need to take advantage of this when other colors are going to have a serious problem here. Next, we have our removal package, and being in Naya colors, we have access to some of the best removal in the game right now. At the top of the list, of course, we have Abrade. Kaladesh is still legal in Standard right now, which means that Artifacts Matter decks are out there, and we get serious value in this card. Another Standard all-star right now is Harnessed Lightning. Solid removal spell with some energy synergy that might matter depending on our board state later in the game. And Lightning Strike is back, and since it's here, we had better use it. Thopter Arrest, again, targets both creatures and artifacts, and the fact that it exiles is huge with all of the graveyard shenanigans we got in Amonkhet. Another exile card is, of course, Cast Out. And since we're playing white, we cannot play without this card. And another exiler on a stick is Fairgrounds Warden. We have Angel of Sanctions. Great ability here. It's a decent late game threat, and that Embalm ability is just so good. And last but not least, we have our one piece of green removal here to get rid of artifacts and enchantments. There will always be a target, especially in a multiplayer game, for appetite for the unnatural. So that's why it's in here. And that is our removal for the deck. Now, card draw is going to be difficult, especially because we're not in blue. So our options are kind of limited here, but what's a game of Magic without some extra card drawing going on? So we start out with Lifecrafter's Bestiary, our one good card draw engine. And I have this in a lot of my commander decks. And if it's good enough for there, then it's definitely good enough for this format. But it gets a little sketchy after here. We have Vizier of the Menagerie, pseudo card draw, and mana fixing here. I told you our options aren't very good. We have Sunbird's Invocation. Now this card is interesting. We got some card draw on there, and who doesn't like casting spells for free? Now I'm thinking that this might even be a great finisher if it goes unanswered for too long. And finally, we have Atali, Primal Storm. Now read this card. It says, when he attacks, exile the top card of each player's library and cast them for free. If we can do this just one time in a multiplayer game and get 3 hits off of it, I feel like that's a win right there. Even if we don't win the game, just doing this is going to feel amazing. This ability is just insane. Maybe I should build an Atali Brawl deck. Card draw is rough in a format without Sensei's Divining Top and Harmonize, especially in these colors, but this is what we got. Now we have our 2 sweepers for the deck in Fumigate and Settle the Wreckage. We're playing with a creature-heavy deck, so we probably don't want to be doing this that often, but at least we have these options for us. And next we're going to be looking at our Planeswalker package, and this deck comes with a sweet Planeswalker package. And these just put so much pressure on your opponents, and we should have a board state to protect them, especially with a commander with flash. First we have a Johnny. Again, some card draw there, and since we can't run Swords to Plowshares in this format, we certainly can run the Walker, who can do it for us. And next we have Chandra, Torch of Defiance. And her first ability is pseudo card draw. Again, do you see a theme here with the walkers? And her second ability is ramp. Her third is removal, and her ult is a potential win con. You know, why wouldn't we play Chandra? And next we have a pair of Huatlis. Just solid walkers in our colors with extra value and flexibility. And Huatli, the Radiant Champion, we should be able to ult somewhat easily. In fact, that emblem is just so good, I'm sure that I will have a Huatli Radiant Champion Brawl deck in the near future. And last but certainly not least, we have Nissa. She makes her own protection and can regrowth something for us, just so good for this deck. And like I said, we're going to be playing around Samut's untap ability as much as we can. Any of these exert creatures we use will just be backbreaking if we're able to exert them every single turn. I mean, that's why you have to exert the creature, because it's just too good if they are able to do it every turn. But with Samut on the field, we could. And add in some great value, maybe a little protection that's in our colors, and a few late game threats, and this is looking just too powerful. For our mana base, because we're running a 3-color commander, we need to make sure that we get all 3 colors on the board. Aether Hub will help, and of course we have the obligatory Evolving Wilds. We still have Inspiring Vantage at our disposal, and the newly reprinted Rootbound Crag and Sunpetal Grove are must-includes in the deck. Add in a couple dual cycle lands from Amonkhet, and I'm starting to believe that we can actually get all 3 mana sources out. And to round things out in our mana, we have 6 basics from each color. Now, Samut is a great commander, and because she does everything, I wanted to make a deck that could do the same. We have great ramp, we have Planeswalkers, our threats and finishers are sweet, and above all, I think this will just be a fun deck to sleeve up and take to your playgroup. Thank you for watching my first video. If you like this deck, the Goldfish deck list is in the description. be looking for more videos about Highlander news, deck techs, and strategy in the future, please let me know what changes you would make to this deck in the comment section down below. And are you excited about this format? I really want to know. Once again, my name is Havoc, and we will see you next time.